Here, 24 hours removed from unboxing, initial playtest, some playthrough, some run through, going back and forth with Billy. Good stuff, homie. What a great review. I hope more people post your thoughts and opinions. I still have the same initial feelings I had yesterday. Although I will say I was a little harsh with my 7 to 8. This thing really does deserve a 9, bare minimum. Now that I'm very comfortable with the joystick, the the thing is just, I wish I could come up with another word other than awesome, but I can't. So much of this thing just screams 1980s. The artwork. Who would have thought back then that we would get anything close to this ever at any point in history? And yet, here it is. Here it is. Could you ask for much more? The attention to detail. This is all metal right here. That's metal up there. Please look at the screws. They could have played us cheap, and they just didn't. The emulation is spot on. The ROM is spot on. The sound is spot on. Once you get accustomed to the size and the feel of the joystick, it's spot on. The accuracy of the input is spot on. The lag is almost non-existent. The color saturation. I could go on and go on, but I can really now, without a shadow of a doubt, say that I recommend this to any legitimate retro enthusiast. And I can represent retro gamers by saying this. If you're a retro gamer, on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being not at all, and 10 being go grab it now, just for a retro gamer, this is a strong 7. That being said, if you're a Pac-Man fan, this is a 10. This is a 10 for a myriad of reasons. I've, checked out or owned. Like I said previously, I've had Christmas release day. That Christmas, I had the Coleco tabletop. I had the Tomy tabletop. I had the Nelsonic Pac-Man watch. I've owned Pac-Man on every console I've ever had. I even had the Milton Bradley Pac-Man board game, which really, really sucked harder than a hooker on Friday. It sucked. And I had it. So my affinity for Pac-Man is almost non-describable. I love the game. I think it is the game that single-handedly made video games a thing. Yes, Space Invaders came first, as well as Pong and, Breakout, and they were all hits in their own right, but Pac-Man cemented gaming as a permanent hobby that would stay with us as a culture forever. And this game, this version, this reproduction of Pac-Man is just incredible. For those of you who may be having some technical issues, those of you who may have had some shipping issues, I do feel for you. The people in Numskull are very open-minded, are very eager to help and to appease you. Please, don't just assume you're screwed. Reach out to Numskull. Let them know what your issues are, what your problem is, what happened to your unit. Don't just assume you won't be helped. You may be pleasantly surprised. The Numskull people have been nothing but gracious to me. Their attitude seems to be pretty stellar. Let's give them a chance to prove that they're in this for the long haul. I don't think this is a quick Christmas 2018 cash grab. I think these guys are in it to win it. I think this is just the beginning. I expect great things from Miss Pac-Man, from Galaga, from Galaxian, and whatever comes after that. I just think they're on a roll, and they're on a serious roll. And if this machine is any indication of what's to come, we should all be a little excited. You should just be almost to the point of pee-peeing on yourself a little bit with excitement. Because if they did this good a job with Pac-Man, can you imagine what they're going to do with Miss Pac-Man, with Galaga, and with Galaxian? And as you look at this unit, top to bottom, artwork, coin slots, joysticks, control panel, marquee, etc., etc. Just imagine if you had this sitting here like this, next to a Galaxian, next to a Galaga, next to a Miss Pac-Man, pardon me. I would say it's time to get excited. Retro gaming just took another evolutionary step forward. And the other thing I like about this is going to force some of you crapola manufacturers, some of you quick cash buck artists, I hate to say names, but some of you at games type establishments, you're going to have to step your game up. Because something like this is going to change not only the landscape, but it's going to change our expectations of what we get when we spend our hard-earned money on retro gaming. Retro gaming should not be a tool to milk money out of guys who genuinely love gaming. Retro gamers, I believe, and I could be wrong, but retro gamers are more pure-blooded game-loving guys than any other type of gamer on the planet. Part of the reason for that is because we've been doing it since the beginning. My gaming history goes all the way back to the 70s. My first console was an Atari 5200. The very first video game I ever remember playing was a Tandy Pong machine. Followed not too long after that by Space Invaders and Asteroids, and the list goes on. And in 1982, I got my Atari 5200, and my love affair with gaming never stopped. And even when I got my 5200, that system wasn't complete until I had Pac-Man. So it's time for retro gamers to be heard. It's time for retro gamers to be seen. It's time for us to have our showpiece. Yes, we have the NES Classics and the Super NES Classics and the Neo Geo Classics and all these classics. But when it comes to truly representing what retro gaming is all about, this unit is it in a nutshell. This is 1980 all over again. This is the ultimate tabletop Pac-Man. The ultimate shelf proudly displayed Pac-Man. This is the Pac-Man you always wanted and you never thought would come. And once again, kudos and props to Numskull. Kudos and props to Quarter Arcades. Kudos and props to all the beta testers that worked on this, to the engineers that worked on this, to the marketing team that promoted this, to the early press people who covered this. This was a effort and a labor of love, and it shows. And once again, I want to thank everybody. Hey, Billy, you doing your thing. Keep up the good work. Please keep in touch, buddy. To everybody else that has one of these, hey, we're part of a new fraternity. We're called the Quarter Arcades Fraternity. And we invite everybody out there. If you can get your hands on one, join the club. We welcome you with open arms. My name is Rocky once again, and I'm out. This is day 2, my second update, and I am still, I'm loving it.